What's up guys, I'm Shane and this is Spare Change. If you've got a passion for new movies and for new audio and video gear, then tap the subscribe button for new weekly videos. In for a review, we've got John Wick 3, Parabellum on digital streaming. I won't be reviewing the movie itself, I'm just going to share with you my thoughts on the video and the audio quality. Now before we get into the video, I want to send a shout out to all of our Patreon supporters for helping us make this digital purchase possible. Thank you patrons. Now for a few tech specs. The movie was shot in 3.2K. It's got a 2K DI. It's rated R. Runtime is 131 minutes. Aspect ratio is 239:1, so there are black bars if you're watching on your television. Well, this is a digital stream, so you can expect some compression artifacts like macro blocking and some banding, so it's not going to be quite as good as the physical 4K Blu-ray. That being said, I thought this was one 4K clean crispy transfer. If you're coming from the previous two John Wick movies, this one looks just as good as they share pretty much the same visual aesthetics. Details extra sharp in the close-up shots as well as the surrounding backgrounds. Textures on costumes, blood splatter, broken glass, dirt, debris all have a nice level of tangibility. There are some soft far-field shots, but overall, I thought this was very detailed throughout. HDR usage I thought was a bit more reserved coming from part 2 with less blown out highlights and oversaturated colors. That's not to say colors are dull, I'm just saying the colors are more natural with a nice dose of saturation, especially with all the colorful neon background lighting. Spectral highlights retain excellent detail while still being bright and punchy, so things like lighting fixtures and muzzle flashes don't get all clipped. Black levels, just like the other two movies, are deep and contrasty and offer up a nice level of depth and dimensionality. Shadow detail is well preserved, with maybe a touch of black crush here and there in the darkest scenes. This could be a digital streaming thing, so we'll have to wait and see how it compares to the physical 4K Blu-ray.
Let us begin.
Audio is in Dolby Atmos, and I thought it was moderately active in the high channels. Soundstage had a nice wide upfront presence with some really good sound movement between the lower channels. The final gun shootout in the Continental was the standout here. Bullets impact hard on various surfaces with a nice hard thud, and there's some excellent panning when bullets fly between each channel and sometimes overhead. Bass response had some very good mid-range slam during all the gun battles, but as a whole, I thought bass was less impressive coming from the previous movies. I didn't feel much happening on the low end, and even on some of the musical choices, it seemed to lack dynamics. Again, this could be a streaming thing, so we'll have to wait and see how the physical 4K Blu-ray is. As for Atmos height effects, this sounded pretty much the same as I heard in the theaters. There's the occasional bullets that fly through the air or some dirt and debris floating around during the heavy action scenes, and of course there's a bunch of scenes that have rain falling from the high channels. Otherwise, I felt height effects were light and relegated to mostly atmospherics. Dialogue was always fine and easy to hear, so no issues there. So for audio, I'm gonna go with an 8.2. The gun shootouts are gonna be where most of the surround activity happens, and they do sound great. I wish there was more happening in my subwoofers, especially coming from Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I would have liked a better bubble of surround coming from the high channels. But as a whole, it's a good sounding action movie. I just didn't think it was as good as the other two movies. For video, I'm gonna go with an 8.9. If you've seen the previous movies, then you know what to expect here. It's 4K clean and crispy with tons of detail. Colors are rich and black levels are deep and contrasty. Like I mentioned earlier, there are some soft parts and some compression artifacts since it's a digital stream. I'm sure the physical 4K Blu-ray will look better, but if you don't feel like waiting, I think the digital version should get you most of the way there. Now, if you want to grab the digital version or the physical Blu-ray, I'll leave some links down below in the description. If you guys have seen this, let us know your thoughts on the video and the audio quality. Also, which is your favorite, part 1, part 2, or part 3? As always, thanks for watching. You can find us on social media, and if you want to support the channel and help us keep these videos going, then stop by our Patreon page. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys again in the next one.